Hello everyone, and welcome to this very special birthday edition of Draw with Rob. And this is the very first Draw with Rob activity book. I figured since this is our third birthday, the third anniversary of me posting the very first Draw with Rob video, I thought I should use the very first Draw with Rob book to do my little title sequence. There I am on the back of the very first Draw with Rob book in my studio. And let's see if we can find Ringo. There's me and Ringo in the first Draw with Rob book. Appropriately, Ringo is right behind me. He's in his little bed. He's having a little sleep. He's just been out for a walk, so he's a bit tired. He's having a little sleep, but he is here to celebrate our third birthday together. I probably should introduce myself just in case you don't know who I am. This could, although it's our third anniversary and I think it's our 130th official video. There's been lots of other little bits and pieces that we've done as well. But you might not have seen any of them, in which case I should introduce myself. My name is Rob Biddulph. I'm a children's author and illustrator. Maybe you have seen some of my books. Lots of firsts today. This is my very first book. It's called Blown Away. Now you might not have seen this because this is the hardback, the original hardback cover, and I think they've all gone now. I think they've all sold out, so this is actually quite a rare thing. But look, what I really like about this is that I did a special thing underneath. Look, really nice green cover. But this book is all about a little penguin called Penguin Blue. There he is, and he goes out flying a kite on a very windy day, and he ends up getting blown away. This is probably the cover you're more likely to have seen, the paperback cover there. But that was my very first picture book. And where's my very first chapter book? Here we go. I'm all over the place today. Here we go. My first chapter book, Peanut Jones and the Illustrated City, which is out now. This is the hardback version of this one too, but you can get this one in paperback. Lots and lots of illustrations in this book. Ooh, superheroes. All sorts of things going on in this. There is also a book too. Look, Peanut Jones and the 12 Portals. Check those out if you like fun illustrated adventures. And this here was the first book in my 3-book Dinosaur Juniors series. And look who is on the cover, popping out of a little dinosaur egg. This book is called Happy Hatch Day. So there is our friend Gregosaurus popping out, hatching out of his dinosaur egg in the first Dinosaur Juniors book. And do you know what our very first Draw with Rob video was? We drew Gregosaurus. And this is the actual drawing that I did for the very first video. This is an historical artifact, this piece of paper. I remember doing that. In my first video, I did a little smudge and I was like, I can't believe it. And look, I was much quicker with my colouring. I was using my big pencils, I was going over the edges, all sorts of things, which is good because I say, you know, when you make these little mistakes, that's what gives your drawing character. And indeed, I think this drawing has got a lot of character and also a lot of sentimental value to me because it was the first ever Draw with Rob video. And I always say this in my live shows, but this is how it started, Draw with Rob. I was watching the news with my wife. It was a Sunday night back in March of 2020, and they said on the news that they're going to close all the schools. So I thought, right, there's going to be lots of children stuck at home looking for things to do. I can help. I can draw some of my characters. I'll record it in a step-by-step video. I do that in all my live shows anyway. I'd even made... See, when I talk about my first Draw with Rob video, my actual first Draw with Rob video was back in, I think, 2016. I did a couple very quick ones, 2 or 3 back then. So I already had sort of practice before the lockdown Draw with Robs. But I thought, right, I will record myself drawing my characters, put it up online. And so that's what I did on the Monday. So I watched the news on the Sunday. On the Monday, I recorded the first video. I drew this very drawing here. Then I put it up on YouTube, I think, on the Tuesday. And on the Wednesday, so many thousands of children and adults had watched my video that I was on the news. The news at 10, I think. And it was crazy. And I started getting sent thousands and thousands of pictures from you guys. So thank you so much for joining in with me. It was really an important part of my lockdown. I hope it was an important part of yours. I feel like we've all become friends through Draw with Rob. Certainly when I meet you at my live events, it feels like we're old friends. Everybody says to me, oh, your hands look just like your in real life. When they see my hands, they say, your hands look just like your hands do in the video. And I don't really know what to say to that because you know what? They are my hands. And they also say my voice sounds like my voice in the video. Again, it's my voice. But I feel like I've made loads, hundreds, thousands of friends through Draw with Rob. So I just want to say, before we start, thank you so much for joining in with me over the last 3 years. But we are here to do another drawing together. And I thought we would revisit Gregosaurus. So we're going to do another drawing of Gregosaurus, but we're going to do Greg holding a lovely birthday balloon. Okay, a third birthday balloon, because I think I'm posting on the day that I'm posting this. If you're watching it on the day that I actually put this up online, yesterday was the 3-year anniversary, so we're actually a day late. But it is our birthday, because I think you can have a birthday. Birthdays, in my experience, birthdays tend to last about a week these days. Keep celebrating. But I thought we would, just for old time's sake, draw another Gregosaurus, okay? I wonder if you guys can remember how to draw him. I'm going to do him facing the other way. So first time we drew him facing to the left. This time slightly different. We're going to do him facing to the right. And as I said, holding a balloon. But hopefully this will bring back lots of nice memories for you. Right. The first thing, guys. Oh, I should tell you how Draw with Rob works. Nearly forgot. Lots of people say to me they don't think they're very good at drawing. I say nonsense. Everybody can draw. Some people just need a little bit of help with the order that we do the drawing in. That's where I come in, because I am going to break our drawing down into little bite-sized pieces. Okay, so I'm going to draw a little bit on my piece of paper. You can pause the video and then you draw what I draw. Okay, I will start me up again. I'll draw a bit more. Then you draw. Then I draw. Then you draw. I draw. You draw. I draw. You draw. And by the end, I promise you're going to end up with a drawing you are really proud of Gregosaurus. Okay, so you're going to need a piece of paper, obviously, a pen or a pencil, something to draw with. You might want something to colour with later on. If you don't have anything to colour with, no problem at all. Your drawing can just be black and white. Okay, let's start. Okay, the first thing that I want you to do is down at the bottom of your drawing, maybe slightly left of centre. Sorry, the bottom of your piece of paper. There's no drawing yet, is there? Slightly left of centre, I want you to draw a nice U shape. There we go. That's exactly how we started the very first Draw with Rob too. A little tiny U shape. The next thing I want you to do is we're going to go right. We're going to curl around and we're just going to head upwards like that. Do you remember? Are you remembering this? Of course you are. From that point, I want you to come straight out horizontally. About, what's that, 4 or 5 centimetres, something like that. I love drawing Gregosaurus, it's so fun. Then we're going to curve around and we're going to head up our page. About that far. I bet you don't even need me to tell you how to do this now. Because I don't know if you find this, but when you do a Draw with Rob video, because we break it down into little bite-sized pieces, there's a weird thing that happens with your memory. You just remember how to do it. And the next time when you try and do it on your own, you can just do it. Do you find that? I find that myself when I'm doing it. Right, then we're going to curl around and we're going to go off horizontally like that. So we're just past where we started to about there. Okay? So far, so Gregosaurus. Then we're going to curve around. We have lots of rounded edges on Gregosaurus, no really sharp edges, although I might do one in a sec actually for the tail. And then we're going to head back down, but we're going to stop about there. So we're going to stop short of the bottom of where his sort of level with his leg. We're going to stop a little bit short of that, because then what I want you to do, we're going to curve around and we're going to head upwards, uphill, just a little bit, like that. Do you remember? Yes, that's his tail, that's right. Then we curl around and go back downhill and we end up back home where we started. There we go. And that is the outline, as you well know, of our little Gregosaurus. Now can you see I've left, hopefully you've done the same, I've left a bit of a gap here. I haven't filled up our page because remember I said I'm going to draw him holding a balloon, so we need a bit of space up here to draw our balloon. That's why I've kind of done it sort of towards the bottom of the page. Remember, I tell you this quite often, with drawing you sort of have to plan ahead a bit in terms of the bits of paper that you use, okay? The bit of your paper that you use, if you see what I mean. Right, let's give Greg another leg. We're just going to do another U shape, like so, like that. And then just in here, in the middle of his tummy, let's do another U shape, which is going to be his arm. We're going to do his arm. I'm doing it slightly facing forwards this time because I'm going to give you, there's going to be a little surprise. Greg is going to be holding something in that hand, not the balloon, something else, okay? Let's give Greg an eye. I like doing this bit. So the eye goes here, right in the middle of his head, nice big eye. About that sort of size. We're going to leave a bit of space above so we can add an eyebrow. There we go. Lovely round eye. And we're not going to do the pupil. Well, you can if you want. You can do Gregosaurus looking straight at us, but I'm going to do my pupil up here in the top right bit, right at the edge of his eye, because I want Gregosaurus to be looking up at the balloon we're going to draw him holding in a second. Now, this is slightly different to how I did it last time, because I'm not going to draw his mouth, his nostril, or his eyebrow just yet. Because I probably shouldn't have done that arm yet, actually, because I want to colour him in before I do that, and I'm going to draw on top of the colour so that I don't do any smudging, okay? So that's why I'm not doing that bit yet. But what I am doing is his sort of plate bits, you know, those he's a stegosaurus, Gregosaurus the stegosaurus. So his plates that go all the way around his back, we're going to start up here, right in the middle of his head. Do you remember this? We draw a kind of diamond shape, like so. But the diamond disappears a bit into his head. And we're going to do 1, 2. They get very slightly smaller each time, these little plates. Very slightly. That one's almost exactly the same size. 2. And they sort of turn around as they go down his back. 3. Slightly smaller again. 4. 5. Can you remember how many we do? That's right, 7, 6. Just about left enough room. 7. There we go. Pretty good. And usually we always do 3 little lines in the middle of each one, but again, I'm going to wait until after I've coloured it so I can do the lines on top so we don't do any smudging. But I can do the little spikes on his tail. 1, 2, 1, 2. So just 2 on each side. Little kind of oblongs with rounded ends. Perfect spiky tail spikes. Now, we're going to draw, I don't think we did this last time, we're going to draw Greg's other hand, and that's going to be coming out here at a slight angle, like that. There's his hand. Because remember, we're going to be drawing Greg holding a balloon. Now I'm going to switch to my little thin Kuretake pen here, because what I want to do now is the string of the balloon. So we are going to draw it. It's going to be, we're going to imagine him holding this string. It's going to come up like that, okay? And it's going to go out of the other side, just like that. So you've got to imagine it's kind of in a little fist, okay? Then we're going to do the end of the string. We're going to make it look like it's tied in a little bow. So what we do, we just add 2 other little lines like that to make it look like the end of the string is slightly fraying. And then either side of that we add a little bow to make it just look like the end of the string. Okay? Then this string, so it's going up through his hand because he's holding it, and then it's just going to, you have to imagine it going all the way behind his nose there, and then it's going to just come up to about there, okay? And we're just going to do a little tiny bit of string here. This balloon is not going to be high up in the sky because we don't have enough room on our piece of paper. So we're going to do it about here, and now we're going to start drawing our balloon, okay? The first thing we do with the balloon, we draw a tiny little sausage shape, like that, like a little cocktail sausage. Then what we do, coming out of that cocktail sausage, we draw a little tiny triangle, like that. Then on top of that triangle, we draw a little tiny circle. And that's the kind of knot bit of our balloon. Do you sort of recognise it from when you have your birthday parties? There's a little knot, and then the little sort of bit that you blow into ends up looking like that. And then the balloon itself, you can do a round balloon, you can do a sausage shaped balloon. I'm going to do the balloons that are this shape. They've got a nice curvy bottom, then they go up and then they get a bit wider at the top. Do you know what I mean? That kind of balloon. So it's like an upside down pear shape, really. Like that. That's my birthday balloon, and I am proud of it. Look, Greg's looking straight at it, very proudly too. Now on my balloon, I am going to do a very big number 3 because it's our 3rd birthday. It's Draw with Rob's 3rd birthday, the 3rd anniversary of this chap making his first appearance. So we're going to draw a number 3. This is how you do the 3. We sort of do a curve, then we do another curve. I'm going to do it a bit like bubble writing. So 2 curves, carry that curve around, square the end off, go back, we'll do a pointy bit in the middle I think, like that, square that end off, and there we go. A lovely number 3 on his balloon. And that's pretty much, well, that's the first part of our Gregosaurus, okay, the line work part of our Gregosaurus. I'm now, as per usual, Ringo's being very quiet, isn't he? Ringo, you alright? He's fast asleep. I sort of wanted him to interrupt us a bit, just for old time's sake, just to give us a bark or something, but he's not obliging, he's just snoring away back there. So, I'm going to go into super speed mode, as I always do, to colour in my Gregosaurus. I will see you back here in about 20 or 30 seconds with a beautifully coloured in Greg. Okay? 3, 2, 1, let's go. Okay, there's my pretty much coloured in Gregosaurus. A few things to tell you about. Obviously I've gone for the traditional Gregosaurus colours. Green body with orange plates like that. I should have said at the beginning, you can do your Gregosaurus any colour you like. I love it when I see pink Gregosauruses with purple plates. It's great. You can even do patterns, stripes, spots, hearts, anything you like. You know the rules with Draw with Rob. There ain't no rules. You can do whatever you like. What else can I tell you? Well, first start, I've done a bit of a neater job actually of colouring in, haven't I? I spent a bit longer on it. But what I've done, I've decided early on my light is coming in from this side. So you can see on the balloon, I've left 2 little white circles when I coloured in. I drew those circles in the red pencil first and sort of coloured in around them so that it looks like the light is hitting the balloon, which makes it look a little bit more shiny. And then I've made the balloon slightly darker on this side. Do you remember we've talked about that before? I think when we did the apple, the worm in the apple, that one, I think number 35 that video is, I talked about how to make things look rounded. So you make them a bit darker on one side, but you leave a little bit of light there, and it makes it look like your balloon is slightly more rounded than it otherwise might. Similarly, I've done Gregosaurus a little bit darker green on the left hand side. He's casting a bit of shadow with that arm there and his legs, and obviously this leg and this arm are slightly darker because we want them to look like they're slightly in the background more. I've added a little bit of sort of bluey green just around that bit of the eye to give that a little bit of shape too. And on the plates I've done a darker orange nearer to the body again, just to make it look a little bit more three-dimensional. And in the end I decided to do the little lines on my plates. I did them in a darker orange colour instead of black. And similarly, the reason I've stopped now before I've finished colouring, I just wanted to do, where's my dark green? I'm looking for the dark green. What colour's that? Yeah, that's dark green. I've got my dark, very dark green pencil. If you don't have a very dark green, you can just do yours in your black pencil. Black pen, I mean. But I'm adding, do you remember we always do the sort of the little spots and dots and things on Gregosaurus's back like that. So just lots of dots, a few circles here and there going off the edge of our dinosaur body. And what that does, it just adds a sort of a scaly texture to our dinosaur. Their skin is a bit like lizard skin, isn't it, dinosaur? Snake skin almost. And so I think just by adding these little dots just along the back and then across the top of his head like that, it just adds this kind of suggestion of texture. Maybe I'll do a bit up the tail as well. Just a few, as I said, dots, spots, semicircles, that kind of thing. And it means we don't have to cover the whole body in that. And it just gives that suggestion of texture. And I just think that works really nicely. I'm just going to do the ones right at the edge. I'm using a little bit of black pencil, the ones right at the edge, because again, I think they'd be slightly darker because they're in shadow. So just going over the ones that are at the edge, like that, maybe a couple around there. Just to, again, just helps everything look like it's a bit more rounded. Okay, so there's that. What else have I got to add? The nostril. Do you remember how we draw Gregosaurus's nostril? Of course you do. We start with a circle up in this corner. A little circle like that, which we then colour in. So do you remember the reason I'm doing it now is because I want to draw over the top of my pencil so that I don't smudge. Then what we do a swirl. So we're going to come out and we're going to go around and then we'll stop there. And if you like, you can make that swirl thicker at the end near the circle, gradually getting thinner like that. Okay, so that's how we do Gregosaurus's nose. The mouth, tiny, do you remember? He has a tiny little smiling mouth right in that corner. Oh, so cute. And then last but not least, let's give him a nice eyebrow up here. He's looking very happy, so we do the eyebrow above the eye, like so. Last but not least, we could not do a Draw with Rob episode without me mentioning shadow, could we? Do you remember how we do shadow? Of course you do, I do it in every video. We're just going to add a little bit of scribble, like that, next to Gregosaurus's feet. And it just makes it look like our character is standing on a surface, even though we haven't drawn a horizontal line to sort of tell us where the surface is. It looks like he's standing on a surface. And if I do a bit of darker grey right next to the feet, right in there, like so, really completes our little illusion of 3 dimensions. So there we go. There is our birthday Greg holding his balloon. Look, let's introduce him to original Greg. And get them both in. Yeah, just about. Look. Hello, birthday Greg. Oh, hello, original Greg. What do you think of my balloon? I love your balloon. It's really nice. It's red with a yellow number 3 on it, and it is 3 years since I was drawn. I know, that's why I've got the... Shall I stop this? I'm having a little conversation with myself. Sometimes I feel like I'm going a bit crazy. But anyway, original Greg, 3rd birthday Greg. What do you think? Pretty good, huh? Pretty good. Well, I hope you're very proud of your drawings. To show how proud you are, I want you to sign them. I'm going to sign mine down here. Rob Biddulph. There we go. Sign your name nice and big and bold so that everyone knows who has created this wonderful work of art for our 3rd birthday. And of course, as ever, I want to see your pictures. How do I see your pictures? Get somebody to take a photo of your Gregosaurus. Post it on social media using this hashtag. The same old hashtag we always use, Draw with Rob. That way I will get to see it. If you're watching on Facebook, you can just comment underneath the video with a picture of your drawing. That way I get to see that too. But I'm so excited about seeing your drawings. Go crazy with the balloon colours. There's potential for you to do your own thing here in quite a few instances. I mean, you don't even have to do spines like that. You can invent your own dinosaur. I'd love to see that too. Maybe a bit like that Nancy we drew with a great big spine, or spikes, or maybe no spines at all. And as I said before, your Gregosaurus could be stripy or spotty or anything you like, tartan coloured if you like, and your balloons can be any colour you like. So go be as creative as you can with your colouring, that's what I would say. And please do send me your drawings. I can't wait to see them. Can you believe we've been doing this for 3 years now? I can't believe it. In some ways it feels like a long time ago that we started, but in other ways it feels like yesterday. It's a very strange thing, isn't it? I just want to take this opportunity to say a huge thank you to all of you for watching my videos. It honestly has brought me so much joy. I'm so proud when I see your drawings, when I meet you at my events and you show me your folders full of drawings. It makes me feel so proud. I absolutely love it. I love it when you send me your drawings too. So thank you so much for joining in with me. Oh, Ringo's just woken up. Can you hear him scratching? There we go, he's having a good old scratch. You alright, Ringo? You alright? Oh, he's still scratching. You must have a big old itch. But Ringo and I have loved doing this with you. over the last 3 years, and I'm going to carry on doing them. Don't worry, this isn't me saying and it's all over, because it's not. I'm going to keep on doing them. But I am so proud of all my little artists out there, so thank you for joining in with me. Don't forget to subscribe to my video in YouTube. If you're watching in YouTube, turn your notifications on, and also don't forget to subscribe to my newsletter to get all of my latest news. But that's it for our 3rd birthday episode. I'm going to be back very soon with another brand new episode of Draw with Rob. In the meantime, team, keep drawing, keep those pencils sharpened, keep reading, and here's to the next 3 years. Bye, everyone.